Welcome everybody to the ASCW Post-Finals Masters GrandMasters Week number 23 interview with Complexity Gaming's Rise. Rise, thanks so much, man, for granting us this interview. You pretty much raffled through the start of the tournament there and got all the way to the finals before anybody gave you a bit of a problem. How'd you feel the tournament went for you?
Yeah, pretty smoothly. I just executed my openings and defended, and then came back and won the mid games. They were all pretty one-sided victories for me, for the most part.
No, it's it absolutely is. I'm sure coming up with the most modest way to say it can be difficult, but they were one-sided. They were all very one-sided, including the match versus last week's champion, which was Complexity Gaming's RSVP, who had actually beaten three-time champion Sagacity player. And I was just wondering, what is your best matchup? Is your best matchup ZVP, Zerg versus Protoss?
Right now, I think it is, because I've been studying the matchup for a long time and just working on a way to take down Protoss players.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seems like you really had, I wouldn't even say an answer to everything, because it was almost like you had the initiative without being aggressive, if you will, and the drop play was just so deadly. So obviously you practiced, I'm sure, with RSVP. Were you worried at all going into that matchup, or did you kind of say, hey, I know this guy. I know his game, so...
Yeah, RSVP, I had hoped to meet him in the finals to play best of five against him.
Sure.
I guess the seeding just worked out
not
in that favor. But I felt most comfortable against him because we practiced each other, so I know exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, it seems so. It seems so. So a little bit about the Zerg versus Protoss matchup. I know a lot of people are curious about the matchup at the moment. Protoss having some difficulty with the matchup, much as Zerg has had earlier on in the metagame post-beta. And I was just wondering, what, if any, Protoss opener gives you the most headache or most worry about as such a good Zerg player versus Protoss? What don't you like to see? Is it the Stargate opening? Is it the Forge Fast expand? Are you pretty much comfortable against all of them?
I'm getting there. Right now I'm most uncomfortable against the new One Gate expand, because what some Protoss players are doing at the higher level is they figured out they can just Chrono Boost their gateway now with the reduced sentry build time, and they actually get more sentries out earlier than they will with a 3 Warp Gate expand. So it allows them to just 1 gate expand by chrono boosting out sentries, and it's like 30 seconds earlier than 3 gate expand and safer.
Right.
So usually what you see is like them chrono boosting out the sentries for the 1 gate expand and then a Stargate and then 2 more gateways like MC was doing at MLG.
Right.
So I haven't seen that build too much yet, so I had the least experience against it, so right now that's what I'm least comfortable with, because the Void Rays are annoying. They deny your third for a while, and you don't know what Toss is doing behind it. They can just throw down like 6 gateways and do a huge push, or get back to Robo. So yeah, I just need more experience against that style, and then I'd be pretty confident against pretty much anything Protoss can do.
Okay, so speaking of MLG, what's on your radar in the future here, in the near future? Are you going to head out to MLG Anaheim? Will you be competing in that?
Yeah, I was at Columbus, actually.
Okay.
And yeah, if everything works out with Complexity and the sponsors or anything, I will be going to Anaheim as well.
So, Complexity recently going ahead and acquiring Root, or I should say acquiring some players from Root. Root essentially defunct. Obviously happy. Do you want to speak anything along those lines?
Well, I'm excited to have all the Root guys on the team now, because we've been practicing every night since they've joined together. So I think it's going to help my play a lot too.
Sure.
Just like a bigger library of builds and strategies and people to talk with and practice with. So I'm excited for that.
I can't imagine you with a bigger, as if you don't have enough already. So, okay, very cool. So will you be competing in all of the MLGs?
That's what I'm not sure yet, because it all depends on the budget from our sponsors and things. And now that we have the addition of the Root guys, I'm not sure how things are going to work out in the future.
Okay.
But hopefully, keep my fingers crossed. And
got it. Well,
it said they sent me to Anaheim already, so
excellent.
I'll be there.
Excellent. I hope to see you in Orlando, because I will be at Orlando. So hopefully we can meet up there. But back to the game a little bit. So really, not seeming to have too many problems until the finals, and thank you for being very gracious as we worked through those computer issues. I know your opponent was having some issues there, and it was very gracious of you to hang tight. I know he also said that, listen, if it doesn't work out, then I'm just gonna, I'll forfeit the match at one point. But so I think that it was really neat to see you guys say, hey, no, let's be patient, let's work it out. I know there was one regame in there. It seems like you were a little frustrated after that regame. Is that fair to
I
say?
was,
You were,
yeah.
yeah. You could kind of sense it. I mean, it sort of showed. So after you after the regame kind of thing, and you lost your first match because you hadn't lost a match until the finals. Was it okay? I need to calm down, regain composure, because it seems like that's immediately what you did. Was that what was your thought process there?
Yeah, after he disconnected on Teller the first time, I immediately watched the replay, and I was pretty sure I had the lead
Hmm.
from what I saw from the replay. So, like, I don't know, it's easy for me to assume that he was just pulling the plug
Right.
and getting a regame, because it wasn't, like, so far in my favor that it was over yet. So that was what the frustration there was in the next game when I kind of just left with it a GG, and I feel bad about that now. But yeah, so I was getting on tilt a little bit, so I just had to take a second, close my eyes, breathe deeply, calm down, and get back to my mindset, killer instinct mindset.
Yeah, killer instinct. You have this uncanny ability, it seems, to go ahead and play D while being offensive and macroing up behind it. It's hard to point out a real leak in your game. It seems like if you don't jump ahead in one way or another against you, you just fall behind, and it's the battle of attrition, which you always win. What kind of practice regiment do you have, if you don't mind me asking? Obviously, your skills are very refined. Are you more of a natural talent, or do you put a ton of work in also, or is it both?
A little bit of both, I feel. I think you have to have a little bit of both to get this far in the game.
Hmm.
But hard work, more than anything, makes up for the natural talent. I mean, obviously, some people have natural talent and they're already up there, but hard work will catch up eventually, because you just have to pick a style that you want to play and really drill it on ladders. So getting a solid playstyle, like you said I just had, requires practicing the same builds over and over and reviewing your replays. So what I do is I spend like the morning reviewing my replays from yesterday, seeing my mistakes, seeing what things I need to fix, where I went wrong, any kind of tactical errors with my units, timings, etc. And then taking notes on those so I remember them, and then just going to ladder and applying the practice. And over time, as you just keep working hard, you generate a solid game.
Yeah, so it is much more than, I mean, a lot of people in the lower leagues, and which ASCW, we serve from bronze straight to grandmasters. So it's great to be able to get that on a VOD from you, because I think a lot of people think it's all ladder. Like, if I ladder enough, I'm gonna get there, and really,
Right.
I think it's really a very small part of it. And as you can hear, as you said, people that are listening now live or to the VOD, there it is, right from the mouth of one of the most solid players we've ever seen at ASCW, actually looking at your replays and taking notes. I mean, it's those little things that add up, and when you do enough of them,
Yep.
it's just like, I mean, if you look at how solid the games that were played today, in every matchup, Rise had no problem versus Terran. He had no problem versus Protoss, because his builds were so refined it allowed him to go ahead and get the initiative, capture the initiative, and stay ahead. So, having said all that, really, Rise, I couldn't thank you enough for the interview. Thank you so much. Will you be coming back to compete in future weeklies?
Yeah, sure. I had a great time.
Excellent. I do believe my co-caster Sleeper Cells has some stuff to ask you real quick, if you don't mind. Sleeper, are you still with us?
Yes, I am indeed. I just wanted to hop in here real quick and ask you about a couple months back, a little while back, we did have a show match, it's a weekly show match between you yourself versus E.G. Oxlov, and it didn't work out nearly as well for you.
Right.
And people were definitely doubting here at the weekly your skill level, all that nice stuff. And then all of a sudden you come into this tournament and you basically just kind of showed everybody that you can raffle stomp pretty heavily. So have you been like practicing an insane amount since that, just in general?
Right, and I want to talk about ZVP in particular, since
Go ahead.
obviously it acts as the Protoss. For the longest time, I was giving up on Roach Hydra, which seemed to be standard, because I felt like Protoss were playing too well against it,
Mm-hmm.
with like the Sentries, the Force Shields, and Immortals and Colossi. So I was getting into like Infestors more and more, and this is even before the patch came out that buffed Infestors. Because I was opening with them, I was finding out like the Sentries aren't as well, like a heavy sentry army isn't as good against infestors because I can fungal with sentries and kill them, and fungal's great against gateway units too. So back when I was playing ASCWeekly, that was sort of like the beginning of the style I've been developing. I was trying to avoid like opening with roaches and then getting hydras and getting corruptors and then kind of like 1A style of Zerg you see. So when I played ASCWeekly back then, I feel like my playstyle wasn't as solid as it is now for sure. And ASCWeekly is obviously a very solid player. He's been practicing his build for who knows how long, and he has great practice partners, solid mechanics. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been doing a lot of work in CDP since that matchup every day, and I feel like it's improved a lot since then.
Yeah, it definitely shows with the taking out RSVP, making it look extremely easy to do. And yeah, unfortunately in the brackets we didn't get a close enough look at it to see what was going on, so it ended up you had to play him round 2, which was slightly unfortunate, but hey, it was still a very epic game. But yeah, dude, absolutely impressive play.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. I haven't had the privilege to see nearly as much as you, but I will definitely be keeping an eye out in the future.
Complexity in general, I think. RSVP gave a great game last week as well. You a great game this week. Do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Not at the moment, no. Just
anything?
well, I have a coaching page on Ace Lessons.
Okay.
If anyone's interested in that, so check that out.
Ace Lessons?
AceLessons.com. Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, just thank you to you guys for hosting the tournament.
Oh man, we're more than happy. Thank you to you. Yeah, we love doing it. Thank you for being such a great competitor. You've heard it here. AceLessons.com. Check out his coaching page there. Big shouts out to Zavi for being a great competitor as well. Sheikh Saga, the previous 3-time champion, dethroned by RSVP, who was in turn dethroned by Rise. Obviously on the rise in not just ASCW, but StarCraft 2 scene all the way around. Be sure to check him out in Anaheim. Follow him through the brackets all the way, hopefully, up to what is a win. So there you have it. Thank you guys for watching, and we are going to get to the after.